Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Easy Does It, a podcast created specifically for the amazing members of the MJ team. Rob and I are back with you again, excited for another great episode. Today, we have a guest episode. Rob, tell us who we have with us today.
Y'all, we have the original Big Diesel. Probably the original Vin Diesel. They don't look the same, though. But we got Big Ron Patrick up in the house.
Whoop, whoop.
Man, we're excited to have you here, man. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Happy to be here.
Heck yeah, man. We're pumped to have you, dude. We were a little concerned. It was like, we might need to shuffle our chairs down a little bit, give Big Ron some space up in here. But we made it work.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here. I know you and I have worked a little bit together throughout the past couple years, but I don't know your whole story, so I'm excited. I'm excited to get to know you better. But before we jump into all of that, Rob always has to ask us.
A good old would you rather. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you played football for like 6 months or something like that?
Something like that.
Something like that. How long did you play football?
We count high school, college, well over a decade.
For a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I made this one football related.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
boy. Sounds like I'm going to be out for this.
Yeah, I should ask you this question. Would you rather make the game-winning touchdown or the game-winning tackle to win the Super Bowl?
Game-winning touchdown or game-winning tackle? I would have to say the game-winning tackle.
Okay. Tell me about that. Why?
Because you prevented someone from winning something.
Yeah.
Like one-on-one. Like you're the reason why your team won the game.
Yeah.
To me, you can get schemed open to make the game-winning catch, but when you're going to get somebody, you're stopping them from prevailing.
Yeah.
So,
take full-on control.
yeah, which is opposite because I was an offensive player to say defense. So, yeah.
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 All right. Meredith, you're up.
Okay.
Beat that.
I think I would have to. So let me just. This is something that Rob doesn't even know about me.
She played football, too.
I did not play football, but did really enjoy the powder puff game. You know, you play like homecoming, juniors versus senior. At least that's how we did it at our high school. I loved it. You know, now they have flag football for girls.
Oh, yeah. I heard that pickleball is the number one fastest growing sport right now. And then second was women's wrestling. Like not that kind of wrestling, but wrestling. But then the third was flag football for ladies, which is huge.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. So I say all of that to say this also is probably surprising now, played wide receiver because in my day, I was much faster than I am now. Not speedy by any stretch of the imagination. I played outfield in softball too. So I had a little bit of speed. So I played wide receiver in the powder puff game and I scored. Not the winning touchdown. So I'm going to have to say score the winning touchdown. Okay. Just because I have no other reference point for what anything else would feel like. I have thought to myself before that I would just like one opportunity to just like
what was that?
just like tackle someone. There's never been an opportunity in my life for me to just like go full speed at someone and just like rah to the ground.
Yeah. Just go full speed, rip somebody's head off.
Sounds like you want to change your answer.
See, there we go.
So I actually wouldn't mind getting the opportunity to tackle someone, but I think I'll say scoring the game-winning touchdown. Okay, what about you?
We got a 1v1. I just feel like we need to just like line this up out in the parking lot. Just let this happen. Like, just go at it.
Have you ever seen those videos? You see those on social media where like the moms get to go tackle their sons at football. Oh my God, those are so funny.
Those kids get smoked.
Yes.
give him a concussion, be like, take that. You're going to clean your room later too.
Yeah, those are so great. That would be me, 100%.
Dang, I feel like I played wide receiver, so I feel like my initial answer would be catch the winning touchdown. But I really like what you said. I feel like you swayed me because I didn't really tackle a whole lot of people either. Like when I was in school, I was maybe medium size. I wasn't too big. I wasn't too small, but I didn't really get to tackle people. But dang, I feel like I'd want to tackle somebody too. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Stopping them.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like I can totally see it and feel it when somebody gets up from a big tackle and they're like doing that whole high stepping motion. It's just like so jacked from
Just
like
taking the helmet off, last play of the game.
Yep. Got 'em.
Celebrate.
yeah.
Man, y'all, I made a catch on one play. This is the first time I got like laid out wide receiver. I ran out about 10 yards, cut back, ball's there, catch it. I turn up field and I start running. All I see is grass. I'm like, yes, this is it. We're at maybe the 40-yard line on their side. So I'm like, it's game over. I'm running and out of nowhere, I just get crushed. Woof, into the sidelines. I'm sure I flew 30 feet, Ron, out in the grass on the side. I got up and it was black. I couldn't see anything. I thought I went blind. And then I see a little bit of light and I realize my ear hole is right here for my helmet. I realized my helmet got spun around and I like pulled it back over and my coach sat me on the bench after that. He's like, good catch. Head on a swivel. Remember, I'm like, right. Oh my gosh. After that, I looked around to see who was around me, but good Lord, that hurt. That hurt a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd like to dish that out sometime, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be a good time.
It would be.
Dang.
All right. One of these days.
Yep. All right. We got some questions for you.
All right.
Mary's going to hit you up with some good old rapid fire questions.
Yep.
She's going to hit one and I'll hit you with one.
Okay. We call these rapid fire, but like we said, they don't ever end up being that way. All right. The first one, fill in the blank. Morris-Jenkins is
An opportunity.
I like that one.
me too.
We're going to talk more about that later. All right. Number 2, what's something that people often get wrong about you?
That I look mean or I'm mean because I can just be sitting. My family tells me this all the time when we're out in public and, you know, at events or anything. They'll look at me and say, are you all right? Because I'll just sit there relaxed and I'm just like,
You got the RBF going on.
yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
And they're like, really? Because I'm relaxed. I'm in the moment and my face is just calm.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't have to think about anything. So RBF,
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Just
is
smile a little bit more.
literally could not be further from the truth.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, next one. What's the last show you binge watched and loved?
I cannot recall a while. We're binge watching one right now. It's called Severance. Have you heard of it? It's on Prime Video.
This is like the work and the home life they can't remember one.
Yes.
That one?
And we're halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Loving it right now.
Huh.
She found it. I guess it's won some Emmys or
Yeah.
is it an Emmy or awards?
Mm-hmm.
It has you thinking. So
Yeah, I heard about that. Somebody else told me it was really, really good. And I'm like,
don't spoil
check
it.
that out.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for me now.
yeah. I'll make sure I don't say anything. But we love it right now.
All right, beautiful. All right, next one is give us a concert you'll never forget.
J. Cole.
Ooh.
Yeah, J. Cole. We went to the J. Cole concert in Greensboro. It was actually my second concert that I've been to. The first one was in college, went to a Drake concert,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. Just, we had great seats. Yeah, it was a good concert.
I'm sure both of those were good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
J.
I mean-
Cole is a Tar Heel fan. So I know all about J. Cole.
There you go.
Yeah, because if he's a Tar Heel fan, then it's essentially like we know each other. We're connected that way.
We're friends.
Okay, what's your favorite meal?
Gotta be a steak. Got a grill at home. I've actually been talking to some of my coworkers in the install I'm like, what grill do you use? Because I got a charcoal grill, and of course they're quick to say, like a pellet grill and everything like that. But I like a good steak.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the sides, just any type of steak.
Just steak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got to season it just right.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? We need to request that at the breakfast. And be like, hey, I appreciate the chicken, the bacon.
But can we get some steak and eggs up in here?
Yeah, steak and eggs. Forget chicken and waffles, steak and eggs. All right. We got 2 more questions. The next is, give us a snapshot of an ordinary moment that brought you great joy.
One had to be in the spring. Both my kids, my older son, he does flag football. And speaking of Powder Puff, our daughter is in her 2nd season of flag football. So last year with him, we were at his flag football game, and he was playing against one of the, top teams. They never lose. And it was a close game. And they were about to score. They were on like the equivalent of the 10-yard line. He caught a pick, and very slowly he ran it back.
Stop.
I don't know how they didn't pull his flag. I'm looking at Shannon. I'm just like, but he was stumbling all the way for the touchdown.
Hey.
I'm just sitting there smiling at myself.
Touchdown's a touchdown, right?
Touchdown's a touchdown. And of course, he's having fun. He's hyped. I'm like, that's a moment that I won't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They go on to win the game?
no, but he got his interception.
Yeah. Dude, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Right. He had his moment.
He had his wiggle, his little shake. He still talks about it, but that snapshot, seeing it from start to finish, being there at his game,
Yeah.
I love it.
He gets in the car and you're like, what happened? I don't know, Dad.
I blacked out.
I'm like, we gotta work on your hip movement.
The touchdown looked good, but the dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, because you can't score a touchdown nowadays without having a follow up celebration that matches the moment.
He did spike the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And celebrated with his teammates, but I've never had an interception, but it doesn't have to look pretty.
No.
Nope. It don't matter.
But yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Okay, what is one thing you are deeply grateful for right now?
Just where I'm at in life. From this, I don't know if it's the time of the year or just where I'm at. I'm grateful to just take a moment, breathe, especially after summer, and just see where I'm at, the position I'm in, and just being able to spend time with my family right now. Like I said, they're both in football. They're chomping at the bit when I'm at home. They see I'm at home. They getting off the bus. Hey, let's go toss the football around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm extremely grateful for that because they're at that point in their life, 12 and 9, where they're active, and it's making me be more active.
Yeah.
So I love it right now.
Mm-hmm. They keep us young,
Yeah.
or they try.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make you start feeling old.
Yeah.
You want to play, Dad? Give me a minute.
I need to
give me a
stretch
minute.
first.
Honey, where's the Tylenol?
Yeah. The phrase right now is unk. Don't be unk.
Oh,
Oh,
Have you heard
oh,
of it?
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, hold up. They hit me with the back in my day. I'm like, oh, I'm not that old. But that's where they're at right now.
That's when you get up and you're like, oh, you're getting up and they're like, I told you, huh? And you're like,
Unk. Okay.
keep that up. Keep that up.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we see where you are right now, and kind of tell us the story of Ron. So, what's something that kind of starts this story that started these transitions for you to where you are today?
I guess it would start
Back in my day.
the glory days, back in Florida.
Okay.
Went to high school, Cocoa, Florida, played football, basketball, won 2 state championships, first ever junior, senior year, which is huge when you're in the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. That segued me to getting a college scholarship to play football, which it was between Florida State and South Carolina. So
big schools.
Yeah, big schools. And of course, I chose South Carolina. Went there for 4 years. Started my junior and senior year. And after that, that's when I graduated and went on to do professional football. And I did that for around 4 years.
Okay.
And then after my playing days, when I was looking for something different, stable, that's when I ended up in Charlotte because she had family in Charlotte. So we would always come back here in Charlotte in the off season. So once I was done with football, that's when I saw the ad, which led me to coming to the warehouse because it was a warehouse position. And then that's how I got my foot in the door here.
Yeah. So if we look at, so through high school and all that, when you were getting into football, like, was that like a family thing? Like the whole family likes football kind of deal, or did you just kind of find that on your own?
No, it was a family deal. My dad played quarterback. My uncle, he played football. It was always football, basketball.
Yeah.
I thought I was a basketball player. My head coach in high school, he was like, "You're 6'2", you're not going to college to play basketball." So I'm like, okay. So, because I didn't play football until my freshman year. I didn't do peewee, anything like that. So freshman year, when I tell people it don't matter where you are, as long as you're coachable, I mean, just listen and you can play the sport. Because basketball and all that other stuff, I had footwork. So, yeah.
And so when you went from basketball and you're like, all right, I'll give it a try. What position did you play, and did that change throughout that time?
They threw me on the offensive line.
Okay.
I was left tackle.
Okay.
So I didn't know what gap was, scoop. I didn't know what a kick set was. It was some growing pains. Like I tell my son, look, it don't matter what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, you're middle school, just go out there, listen to your coaches.
Yeah.
We can fine tune everything. I am proof of what you can do. Just be coachable.
Yeah.
Make your mistakes as if you just don't keep making the same mistakes. So yeah, went to tackle, then I bumped inside the guard, and I stayed there throughout high school.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Did you find that like coachability, was that something that came natural for you, or was it something you observed and you're like, all right, I'm gonna try that too?
It was natural to me.
Okay.
Just because of my parents, you know, they taught me, you know, yes sir, no sir, you know, started in the home. So, hey, when your coach is talking, make sure you're looking at your coach. Don't be off to the side, talking to your friends, you know, eyes on the person who you're talking to, who's speaking. So having those values instilled in me is nothing to listen and, you know, if you have questions, ask.
Right.
So that's what they taught me. And it kind of parlayed into being coachable, you know.
Kudos to Mr. and Mrs. Ron.
Yeah.
You raised a fine man for sure.
Right.
It is, you don't have to interact with Ron many times to see the person that you are. So kudos to them. Definitely, I think that you're exactly right. You pick up on all those things, and that starts early. What other, I guess, things do you think, and we probably will touch on some of these things as we go through, but what other things do you think playing sports taught you? Obviously being coachable, because whether you're in football or you're in life, in your career, you know, being coachable is something that I think is always a plus. What other things do you think you took away from all of that time being immersed in sports?
Teamwork, working with different personalities. I mean, that's true to this day. When you're working on the offensive line, you have 5 different guys. You're not going to all feel the same. You're not going to, you know, have the same personality. And it's just learning to gel, work with your strengths and weaknesses, finding out a solution. to either making the play work or making the job work, which is nice. So.
Our coach on our softball team, he always talks about like when you're growing up and you play sports, whether it be really young or as you get older, he says you remember some of the stuff on the field, but not a whole lot. You remember those big moments, but he says it's the in between that you remember a ton. Like you remember the good moments where you go hang out with your friends. It's y'all hanging out outside of the field, or those big memorable moments. He's like, I remember all the people that I played with. I remember the personalities. Would you say that's the same for you throughout all those years too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're doing the summer workouts, when you're running stadium steps, when you're doing gassers, for your test, you remember every time you test, or the big conditioning test, or the big lifting for max at the end of the summer. You don't really remember the sets or the weights until, you hit that number or you pass your test and you're just laying there tired. You're like looking at each other like across in the locker room. Like,
Did I just do that?
We did it.
Yeah. It's a shared experience.
Yes.
Yeah. That you don't share with a lot of people. I mean, it's just those people that they can even kind of have that same conversation. No one else knows what it was like to be in that situation at that moment, which I think goes a lot to the team work and the bonding and the being beside each other. Because when you're in the game and you look at the person right beside you, it's like, I know that you were there the same day I was when we were laying on the ground, completely and totally spent.
Yep.
And there's some sort of like deep connection there that you can make with your teammates. That's really cool.
Yeah. So you went on from high school, and then you said you chose old South Kakalaki.
Yes.
What was that like? Like you chose the school, and then you show up. It sounds like you got a scholarship, or you chose to go the scholarship.
Yep.
You show up. What was that whole transition experience like? Like that? I bet you were freaking pumped. I got a scholarship to go to college. Let's freaking go.
Yeah, it was nice, full ride, getting on campus. It was actually summer workouts, normal because you're not putting pads on yet. So as a freshman, fall camp, first time in pads, I'm looking around like, am I supposed to be here? Because, you have all the upperclassmen, they're flying to the ball. It's, of course, a faster game in college compared to high school, but it's just, staying grounded. You working through the struggles, because you're going to have struggles, and, like I said, taking the coaching, working on your weaknesses. Okay. You got to hit the weight room. They have a process for that, but just, I guess, finding your groove, because it's always a balance that you have to find within yourself and improve. So from high school, the freshman year, that is really where you just stay the course and kind of find your niche.
Yeah, it's I think it's probably, I would be curious to hear what you think about, because it's interesting that you said that at the very beginning, like, am I supposed to be here? It's like either that moment or multiple moments of, wait, did they ask the right Ron to come? Is we've talked on here about imposter syndrome before, where like, you're like, I don't know if this is right. I am not good enough to be here, or, that kind of thing. And if you let it, kind of like you're talking about this balance, if you let that be your main focus or your only concern, well, then that sort of leads you down one path. I think it's good to have those thoughts in some ways, because it kind of keeps you humble, You know, it's like there's people here that are faster than me, stronger than me, and I've got work to do. You know, so I do think it kind of helps with that piece. But I also think that it's important, like you're saying, to have the balance between I've got work to do, but I am supposed to be here. You know, there's
Absolutely.
like this kind of back and forth between that. And I'm sure coming out of high school, it's when you're in high school, I feel like when you're on a team, like a team you're on, especially if you won 2 back-to-back state championships before you left, it's like you're on top of the world.
You used to being top dog,
Yep.
doing what you want. You know, no one could really stop you. So now you're going into college as a freshman. Everybody that's on that team was the best at their position in their state.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, buckle up your chin strap. If
Yep.
you want to learn some lessons, let's just work through it.
Yep.
Most definitely.
Wow.
I can't imagine. It's like you show up, it's like, everybody's so much bigger than me. Everybody's so much faster. It's like, I got some work to do.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah. So you step into college and then you see that. When did you feel like you kind of started to hit your stride and find your groove when you got there?
Probably the end of my sophomore, junior,
Yeah.
between halfway right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, junior year, that's when I first started. So now that you're starting, you're seeing a lot more action, different schemes. It's different than if you're on the bench, because you can only improve so much when you're not getting game time reps. Mm-hmm. Practice is modified, simulated. You can only do what the scout team looks gives you. So I improved from my junior year, getting those reps, getting that experience, learning from my mistakes. So that's kind of when it shifted.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that takes some real, I don't know exactly, tenacity maybe is the right word.
Mm-hmm.
Some stick to itness.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, that's 2 years, freshman year, sophomore year. If it was the end of your sophomore year where you were kind of finding your groove, it takes a lot to stick with something, where you're just kind of trying to keep at it for 2 whole years.
Yes.
Which I'm sure is something, we're going to talk a little bit about transitions in life. But, when you can stick with something like you did for that long, knowing I'm going to get there at some point. Some point we're going to turn the corner. But sometimes it takes a certain tenacity to be able to kind of stick to it as long as you did, or as long as some people have to for anything where they're trying to kind of turn the corner. I also think that we can't skip over the fact that you played professional football, because I don't meet many professional football players. I don't even think I knew that. That's so crazy to me. So was there a point in time where that became like a dream, or was it just like the path just kind of continued to go that way?
I didn't think that was a possibility until, like I said, now going into my senior year. So I finished my junior year, we finished 11-2, but you're looking at the film, you only have 1 year left because I didn't redshirt. Mm-hmm. So at that point, you're thinking, okay, if you want that to even be a possibility, what are the areas you need to improve on? Mm-hmm. So I actually sent all my game film from my junior year to my high school coach, and he said, I asked him, hey, can you grade my games? Because he used to grade them in high school. And he graded every one of my games, and he sent it back to me. And he said, what did he say? He wrote it down. Here are the improvements. You can either work at McDonald's or go to the NFL.
Oh.
Look forward to seeing you on TV soon. Because he knew I was going to make those adjustments because I sent him all those game notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was a Maymester before summer workouts, so it's optional. You know, I'm wanting to graduate. I looked to see how many classes I needed to graduate by the end of the year. I ended up staying there for Maymester, not going home, and I just worked out, trying to give it all I got going into my senior year. So to answer your question, I knew in order to make that a possibility, I had to make sacrifices to give myself the best chance, and it paid off.
Yeah, it did.
And it worked.
Yeah.
I like this coach. You can either work at McDonald's or I'll see you in the NFL.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I like that.
See you on TV soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good coach.
I know it's so awesome. So what was that experience like? I mean, that's another thing too. Besides getting to be able to just like plow into somebody, is to run out of a tunnel at a stadium. That to me is just, you know, it's like the fireworks and the smoke and the that too seems like it would be just an exhilarating experience or feeling. So like what was that experience like playing professionally?
Hold on, what team was it?
Oh. All right. It's the list I always give. Okay. So my rookie year.
If you say the Browns right now and Shane starts cheering, I'm going to lose my mind.
All right. So rookie year, started off with Dallas, was there for a little while, got released, and then I ended the year with the Steelers.
Okay.
So then next year went back to Dallas. Well, I had a little off-season stint with the Panthers. That was during OTAs. Got released there, but then went back to training camp with Dallas. Was there, got released, was out a week. Then I went to Cleveland. Yeah. Went there to Cleveland. I was there.
Just leave that one off.
Yeah.
No wonder Shane wanted
I
you
know, this makes perfect
over there
sense
and
now.
install. I'm
So-
seeing some connections now.
Was with the Browns. Was there majority of the season. Got released. I was out a week, and then finished the season with Buffalo.
Okay.
So Buffalo was there. Did the off season with Buffalo. Was there, and then got released, and then went to Tennessee. I was with Tennessee for training camp. Started the season with them. Got released. A lot of releasing going on, right? So after I got released there, I was out a week, and then I went to the Redskins, and I was there all season into my third year, and then I went back in the off season and was there throughout preseason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely the not knowing where you're going to be.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You had to say
those are all the teams.
You had to say the Browns, didn't you?
Had to. Part of the story.
So. Now, going to the game, hopefully it wasn't, definitely wasn't that one to start. But you walk out there and you're in the tunnel and you can hear the fans. You can hear all the ruckus going on out there on the field, and you're in the tunnel and you're running out for the first time. Like, what was that like?
Like you said, an adrenaline rush. I mean, Sundays, I get excited watching the games on Sunday at home.
Yeah.
So you can imagine with people waiting all week, they're watching their favorite pro team. They're ready to, win. I was hyped on the sideline. So, yeah. It's definitely, it's moments I still think about.
Yeah.
You know, all those experiences.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I can see.
I got a question off camera, but you can say it on camera. Being able to see a lot of different organizations, can you tell the difference between like winning teams and ones that don't have it?
Yes.
You can kind of rephrase
Yeah,
the question.
Yeah.
So when you look at all the different organizations that you played for, do you notice the difference between what like a winning organization looks like and some of the other ones?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the secret sauce?
So Actually, when I came out going to Dallas, like was there, they drafted Zach Martin. I was in the same class with him, being in the same room. You can just see they built their success on the offensive line. I mean, you had Tyron Smith, you had Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, all those. The organization, Jerry, even to this day, he puts everything into his players to make sure they have the best possible chance to succeed. Now, if you flip that coin, when I was with the Browns,
Close your ears, Shane.
they had an awesome offensive line. Joe Thomas, Alex Mack, Batonio, but it was different coming from Dallas going to the Browns. I was just like, you could tell the standard was different, Sorry, Shane. Sorry, Shane. When you're hoping for a win, so that's two organizations right there. The atmosphere, the vibes are a little different.
Yeah.
When you're a little down in the dumps, but yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting phrase that you just used, like hoping for a win. It's like instead of planning for a win or expecting a win, it's like probably I would imagine that the strong organizations, they expect to win, which number one causes you to set the highest standards. You don't expect to win if you don't expect the best out of people. Instead of hoping for a win, doing kind of the best we can, and then just seeing how the cards fall. If that's the overall feel, then you can see how that would translate. The feeling in and of itself would translate different to players for sure.
And I'll piggyback behind that. The organizations that I was at, the teams, which I enjoyed, every organization I was at, they had solid offensive linemen. If you go back to 2014, when I was with the Steelers at that point, they had Pouncey, they had DeCastro, they had Foster, and then, like I said, the Browns, all the offensive linemen, they had that standard in that room.
Yeah.
It was just, the team wasn't just complete around them. Even Buffalo, you had Eric Wood, Richie Incognito.
I think it's amazing you can even remember all these people's names.
Yeah, I remember.
But I think it is.
You rubbing shoulders.
I was out there with them. Yeah, I think that, but what you're saying, I think, is so true. It's like, it sounds to me like the level of talent per se was maybe not equivalent, but similar.
Right.
So when you have the same level of talent from team to team to team, then I think it becomes more evident, how the team is built around them, or, how the organization just operates in and of itself. Because when the talent is similar, then you would expect similar results.
Right.
But what we know, I mean, even here, that's no different than anywhere. I don't think that's any different than here at Morris-Jenkins. I mean, it's like you can have talented installers, you can have talented people everywhere, but the people around, the organization around them, the standards, all of those things, that's what makes the difference.
Yes.
Not just the best names on the offensive line. It's got to be everything else that surrounds those people.
Yeah.
Almost just thinking about a football team, because it correlates in a lot of ways, but you can have talent, and then obviously it's important to have a good coach. What do you feel like the key factors of a winning team would be?
Being all in. I mean, it's hard. I've seen it. If you're in a funk and you can have a great week of practice, and then you go out there and still lose. It's just like, well, dang, what are we not doing? I've seen both sides of it. Usually it just takes that win against a big opponent. I remember, when the Browns beat the Ravens, that's a rival, and it can kind of jumpstart you. But, just being all in, making sure your leaders within the team or the organization is holding everybody accountable. You know, you're on the same page, being all in.
What had more weight for you, the leaders on the team, like your teammates, you know, whether it be the team captain or whatever, or more from the coaches?
Definitely the players.
Players. Okay.
You know, coaches, they can only – great teams are led by the players because they hold everybody accountable.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that in NFL locker rooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you have everybody bought in on the same goal, making sure, hey, being on time for meetings, getting extra work in on the weekend. I've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it here at Morris-Jenkins too. It's one thing when your supervisor, manager, director gives you feedback, or, you know, it's nice when they're like, hey, you did a good job, we recognize you, but it feels different when a teammate's like, man, I appreciate you coming out and helping me out, giving me a helping hand. I appreciate you, you know, taking an extra call today because that allowed me to do this, this, and this. Or it means something when your teammate holds you accountable versus when a supervisor holds you accountable. You don't want to let either one down, but it feels different when it's a teammate. And I feel like I let you down, whether it be out on the field or at a customer's house, at work, whatever.
That's true. Even to this day in install.
Yeah.
Like you said, it means it just hits different when it's coming from your teammate in the field, you know, because when they appreciate your work or when they're saying they're holding you accountable. So it definitely means more coming from your peers.
Yeah.
You know, which is natural. I mean, because, you know, example, say with your family, you know, you'll appreciate it more from your siblings than if your parents are just saying, hey, good job, man. I really like how you cleaned up the kitchen. Or your sibling could be like, I appreciate you cleaning up the kitchen while I had to go do this, you know, take care of the clothes, you know, just an example.
Mm-hmm. You hear Becca saying that?
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you, the kids in my house, if one of them said that to the other one of them might pass out on the floor. So, it really does. I mean, it probably does mean more, even in that situation because it happens infrequently. So when it does happen, they probably do cherish it, I would think, quite a bit. Okay. So we've kind of already talked about this a little bit, but as our listeners know, we always ask our guest host to bring kind of a topic or an idea. And we really, I feel like I've already heard so many things that you've said that kind of lend themselves to this topic. And also, too, why I can see that you've been successful through these different transitions and stages in your life. Okay, so do you mind if I just read what you sent in the email?
Go ahead.
Okay, great. Because that'll kind of set the stage for what we're going to talk about. All right, so we asked Ron what would he like to talk about today, and here's what he said. As far as personal growth, I'm hoping to talk about transitions in life. I have had many roles and changes within those roles, and now that I'm in a position where I can focus, I'm reflecting on these transitions. I want to work on being the best lead that I can be while working hard to stay in the moment and enjoy the process. This is true in work and at home, and it's my area of focus in life right now. So first of all, for all of you out there, if you couldn't write a nice paragraph like that about what you're working on, you need to be thinking about what you're working on. Because when I first read that paragraph, I was like, got a little teary-eyed. I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of Ron. For people to be thinking about reflecting on the transitions and being present and being the best lead and what do I need? Obviously we've heard a lot of things already in your previous experiences that have kind of set you up to want to be the best and to want to work on these things. But I just think it's so awesome, first and foremost, that you are reflective enough to think about that and that you truly do know that you're doing that. You're trying to work on that. I think sometimes when you ask people, what are you working on right now? It's like I'm building a shed out in the backyard. That's not what we're talking about, right? We're talking about how are you working on yourself? And so I thought it was just really awesome that you even have these thoughts about what that looks like. So I'll let you tell us, when you talk about reflecting on these transitions and how the transitions you're even talking about in life, what does that mean to you and why is that something you're working on right now?
Um, like I said, just coming to Morris-Jenkins, just a little snapshot of the transitions. It was warehouse, apprentice, assistant, lead. So even from the warehouse, I was making sure I was taking care of stuff that needed to be needed to assist people out in the field. When I was an apprentice, I was learning out in the field, trying to make sure, I was being aware of how things went, how the job operates, being a hand because I didn't know anything, and they were teaching me, so I was making sure I was staying busy. Even being an assistant, helping my lead, the process of the job, how he thought about the job, how he wanted it to go, just following that, even to now, being a lead, taking ownership of that job, the standard of that job, and just like at home, how I mentioned how my kids, they're in sports right now. So when my son, he's like, "Are you going to be home today?" I'm like, "I should be," and taking ownership of making sure I'm where I need to be, not to let him down, because I was telling Shannon, like, this is the time where they're wanting you to be around, because in a few years it's going to be, can I go to my friend's house? Can we go to the mall, or can I go hang out with them? So just being able to take that moment, be where my feet are, and like be involved because they want me around. I'm having a blast right now. Like, we're going to high school football games. He's asking me, "Hey, we're going tonight?" That's something, being able to be here and experiencing that. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm speechless.
Yeah.
And that's just being real. Mm-hmm. He wants to go to the park today. He's snapping the ball, and they got him snapping the ball. They don't know what I did, playing in the NFL. And he's like, "You need to tell him." I'm like, "No, just let's go snap the ball." They don't, he's quick to say, "You need to tell him you play football." But,
it'll help me out, Dad.
Yeah. And the fact, it's so funny. The fact that he's center for his team, and he didn't ask to be center. They put him at center. And I told him this the other day. I'm like, you snapped the ball better than I did. I mean, I didn't snap a ball until I got to college. Mm-hmm. So, long-winded, but I'm where I am right now. That's the things I'm enjoying right now.
I bet it's absolutely surreal being able to go to high school games with your boy and get to live those moments, whether it's you getting to go watch him play and find the same love that you found for the sport at that age. I bet that is just absolutely surreal to watch.
It's speechless. I truly am grateful where I am right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think, I'm not saying it's easy for you to be great. There was a lot of, I would imagine part of this transitions piece is there's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of effort. There's a lot that went into being where your feet are right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you get to a place where you are, where you can truly embrace those moments and be in those moments without the work that you've put in to be there. First of all, I don't even know how long was this time frame from starting at Morris-Jenkins to now being a lead?
I started in March of 2020. Shout out to Adrian. We did orientation together. Call her my day one because it was just the two of us in there.
She's legitimately your day one.
So, Adrian. So March, I just hit my 5 years in March. So just over 5 years from warehouse to where I am now.
Wow.
So
it's so awesome. I mean, because I would imagine you came here with no experience.
None. I had no experience in HVAC. Like I said, when I applied to to come to Morris-Jenkins as a warehouse coordinator.
Yeah.
I was first like, I don't know anything about HVAC. Why would I apply? And it was like, okay, because it's warehouse, So yeah, I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
What made you pick Morris-Jenkins? Was it an ad? Was it somebody mentioned it to you?
It was an ad on Indeed because whenever I was playing football, in the off season from January till about April, you don't have anything to do. So what I would typically do, just, I would obviously work out, but get a little part-time job doing warehouse work anywhere I can be, because that's something I don't have to keep. So warehouse was just the easiest thing. So when we saw warehouse coordinator, I was pretty much transitioning away from football. So I was like, yeah, why not? Like, I have warehouse experience. So that's kind of how I applied for this job.
Yeah. What do you feel like? So you went from warehouse coordinator and then you switched over to install. What do you feel like you carried from, or what lessons do you feel like you carried from everything that you'd done prior that made you successful in all those different roles, ultimately leading you where you are today?
Just being attentive, learning the process of how something goes, from pulling orders to, if you're apprentice, making sure you're hooking up the boots right on duct jobs. You do a lot of duct work, earning your stripes doing that. And it's just making sure it's done correctly so no issues come up. Assistant, just making sure you're being accountable for what you're doing outside, inside the home. Making sure your lead trusts you to take care of the things that you're responsible for. So he doesn't have to worry about you. Like, okay, do I need to go back behind him, making sure everything's programmed right? Is everything even outside, presentable outside? When you don't have to have him worry about you doing that, makes the job go smoother. So just being very attentive to detail.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's a similarity between being a lead now and recognizing what a good coach is from football?
Yes, because as a lead, you're looking at the job, you're looking about how you're going to run the play, so you're kind of just getting everything tore out because you're looking at the job night before. You're saying, okay, I may have to do something here, or that may be an issue. And then you're just talking to your teammate saying, hey, I'm going to have to do this first. I know you got this outside, so you can do that. But, yeah, there are similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like when I've done service system with techs when they first start, especially for install, I'm talking to both, because usually if they're already hired, it's like I've got I've got assistants, apprentices, and I've got leads in the same room. And so, I tell everybody, I'm like, hey, when y'all go in, let's say you're done with the job and you go present the work to a customer, you got to have whoever is going to be the right person to go and explain all this, to do justice for these 8 hours you just spent at a customer's house. Make sure the right person is talking. So I'm like, assistants or apprentices, if you find yourself being that person, go do it. And I said, leads, it's okay. If you struggle talking to customers, make sure you set your person up to be able to go handle that for you, because one, it makes them better. But two, it's the most respectful way for a customer to get that experience. It's the right person is doing that. But it takes a good coach, it takes a good lead to recognize I'm going to step back so that the best person for this, even if it's not me, is stepping up to the plate. Because I doubt we'd probably see many coaches from football out on the field snapping a ball, straight up out there, just ripping somebody's head off out there on the field. Maybe they want to, maybe their own players from time to time, but we're probably not going to see that. But they have their players out there. They can coach them. And something that I've noticed with you since you've been here, I remember back as soon as you switched over to install, I kept hearing and I kept seeing it was like, Big Ron's out there and he's back for another job. Big Ron has been sweeping the warehouse. Big Ron, he's here early, he stays late. And it was just like, I remember Shane talking about you specifically, like, I wish that I can make 10 of him just because of what you brought to the table, to the group. And it was like, man, if I can just duplicate this in everybody, this place would just be phenomenal. So it's cool seeing what skills and what things you've taken from, your life experiences to what has led you to where you are now. Do you feel like, as a lead where you are right now, what do you feel like is the next step for you? Like, what do you feel like what space do you feel like you need to step into to continue your success here?
Just making sure I'm doing everything to make the job go smoother, looking at every possible detail from what I could see, whether it's making sure we have metal on the truck because, when you tear out a job, you got to make it up to code. Mm-hmm. We all know some stuff gets put in, they don't get it inspected. So whether it's having metal, whether it's having wood, it's looking at the overall picture of the job because, we make sure it's up to code. Mm-hmm. And just making sure my assistant has what he needs outside. Okay, if I see we're on a little hill, okay, let's grab some rock, let's grab some block, to level it out, make it look nice. Mm-hmm. Just making sure I'm there for whatever is needed.
Yeah.
And so if I see something I'm having questions with, don't wait till I get to the job. Maybe ask the supervisor, hey, I noticed this, planning ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which one of those transitions for you was the most difficult? Was it leaving football? Was it, which one of these, when you look back on it now, it's hindsight's 2020, right? But which one of the transitions do you feel like was the most difficult? And I think too, what did you learn? You've learned something from every transition that you've gone through. Obviously, we all do if we take the time to actually reflect on it and think about it. So which one do you think was the most difficult, and what did you learn from that transition or experience?
I can think of two off the top of my head. Football was definitely one of the more difficult ones because going from high school and then before I came here, that's all I knew was football. So I'm going into a new position that I have nothing to know. I have no experience, like I said, and I'm in a different work environment. Mm-hmm. I'm working around women, women in the warehouse, different age gaps. So it was just different being around people because, with football, they're pretty much your age. Mm-hmm. That was different. And then probably when I became a lead, because when I was assistant, best lead I had was CJ. Shout out to CJ. I mean, he's smart. When I was with him, he always had a plan. I basically had to show up. He knew this, that, the third. And that was hard, not just because, we were together for a minute, but I didn't have him to lean on anymore. It was hard, but he also prepared me because I saw how he ran the job, how he thought the night before a job, just from repetition. So that was just hard not, having him to lean on. But now, because of I worked with him, I know how to go about the job kind of how he thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So those two things were different, I guess hard transitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Meredith talked a while back about this, but on the podcast, but I know I struggled stepping out of the military and like just being a regular civilian. And it was challenging for me, and still is this day, to leave that identity behind, because like that's what I did all the time. And still even today, people are like, you were in the military, or, oh, this is the guy that was in the military that I was telling you about. It's like, it's there. And I'm sure it's the same thing. This is my dad. He was a professional football player. Tell everyone, that feels good, but it's like, that is something that I did, but it's a part of me, but it's not who I am. So do you feel like you struggle with that transition of leaving that identity behind and moving on?
Yeah. Because even now, with all the Alexa stuff, like, hey, Alexa, blah, 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 the kids will say, hey, Alexa, my name and all that stuff. And it'll say, blah, blah, blah is a blah, blah, blah from blah, 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 retired. And I'm just like, because I don't have any social media.
Yeah.
So anything that is found about me is just Google. So
Ron's on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
They're Googling.
Yeah.
So I bet I want to see that picture. His big old smiling face.
Somebody said every picture looks the same. Bald head, beard, just
not smiling.
Not smiling.
This is the face we talked about.
And I'm like, I'm having fun, but yeah.
Oh, it's saved forever. It never is going away.
And they ask me, do you miss it? And I say no, but I miss the memories. Football took me a bunch of places, California, Texas, New York. It even got my first and only trip out the country to London. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. Do you still talk to anybody from any of the teams?
No.
He's too busy at football games.
Huh?
He's too busy at football games. He's in the stage of life where it's all you do is do stuff with your kids.
I get it.
100%.
I feel like I have like a couple of people from the military that I'll still see from time to time, or they'll shoot me a message. I have one a fella, he actually led our team, and he'll send me stuff on Facebook or whatever, Instagram. And it's usually some videos, some random videos sometimes. But it's funny, like those life transitions change, and some people, like, all they do is live in the past. It's like they just can't let that piece go. And then others, it's like that is a part of my past, and then they continue to move on. And like you said, I really like that you said, I've got to be where my feet are. Like I've got to live in that moment. And it may look different for everybody, but it sounds like you living in those moments with your kids is what that is for you right now. It's like, I've got to be here. I've got to be present. Meredith and I were just talking about what it means, when your kids get older. And I still have the tearjerker. And I don't know if you've heard this, when it's like, this is the last time that your kid says, Mommy, can you come tuck me in?
Yeah.
Or Dad, this is the last tuck in.
And you don't know that it's the last.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the hard thing, is you don't know that it's the last time, that you gave them a bath, or that you tucked them in, or, my kids are 15 and 13. So, I mean, I haven't been doing those things for my girls for a long time, but it's like now I look back and I can't quite remember when was the last time I rocked them to sleep. And so being where your feet are right now, I wish I had been able to do that more when my kids were younger, because then you kind of start to look back on it and you're like, pretty sure I missed a few things I could have enjoyed a little bit more at that time. I think once again, I just think it's really awesome that you've put in the work, you've been attentive, you've been a team player, you've done things, you sweep the warehouse when everybody else has gone home, that kind of thing. I mean, I just think that there is a correlation between where you are now, where you have the capability to be a lead and be home for football games, and that all of that kind of led to this point. And so I think it is, in the moment, it feels like, God, I got to go do another job today. Or, like my lead, CJ done signed us up for another job and I got to go work a second job today. But now you've put yourself in a position to be able to be the one to say, I can do another one today, or I can't because I got a football game. I just think that that's really great that you've given yourself by all the things. Nobody handed that to you. You did that yourself. All of these things that you've done to put yourself in this position, I think is just really commendable for you. What would you say if we have listeners, which I'm sure we do, because the one, I don't know, what's the quote about change? Something about the only thing we know that's constant
is change.
The only thing that's constant in life is change. And so everybody at some point, and a lot of people listening probably are going through some type of transition. What would you say to them? If it's like transitioning from what they've known their whole life, like you did from football to here, or if it's transitioning from one spot to another, one job to another, one role to another, what would you say to them?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I mean, if you're at a good company, you have good leadership, they should want you to succeed. What do they call it? Paralysis by analysis. Like, it's all right to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes, but just like with football or up until now, it's only an issue if you keep making that same mistake. They'll sit you down and say, hey, this is what you did wrong. Okay. But if you're coming back 2-3 times, like, hey, you're still blocking it wrong, or you're still not doing this on the job after we've had conversations, that's when it's an issue. Mm-hmm. And that's where I've learned, don't overthink it. Just do it. And you can say, oh, it's a lot of times after the fact, like, oh, I could have did that here. And then when it comes back up, I know what it is. Mm-hmm. So I would say just change is happening. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you will make mistakes, but just learn from your mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, I like that too. I think about these different chapters that you've had in your life. Everybody breaks them up different, but just from what I've heard so far, it's like my high school football career, college, pro, and then now you're in the transitionary period, or you're at MJ, but like you have these mini transitions that have been happening. I'm sure you probably had little mini transitions in each one, but I feel like each one of those is a chapter, and like going to a book, each chapter has a title of what it's about, or sometimes it's intriguing, like gets you thinking. But what do you feel like maybe some of these life chapters that have stood out to you? What were the things that stood out to you? Maybe it's a title, or maybe it's a theme. What would those maybe look like to you?
Probably grow. Staying green.
Staying green?
Staying green. And I can elaborate on that.
Yeah, please.
When you stay green, you're constantly growing. That's one I always kept in the back of my head. When you stop growing, you're not green anymore. So I've always tried to, even to this day, whether if I'm working with another lead, if I'm talking to an assistant, if I see something, I'm like, hey, how'd you do that? I'm not asking to judge, but I always want to learn, because everybody does something different. They could be on a job and they're running their drain a certain way, or they're doing the fluid a certain way, but I try to always learn, stay green, grow, whether like recently, I know we had conversations like growing mentally, I have some goals I'm going to work on, trying to get some things accomplished, that we talked about. But right now in the moment, I've gotten a chance to take a breather after the summer, and I'll be starting those processes soon.
Yep. Ready to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that. I should put that as a motto for MJU, staying green.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's Ron's book deal. Forget the story of Ron. We doing the book deal. We doing the book deals for staying green.
Yeah, just give me my percentage.
All right. Well, the other thing that we asked you to know, this is the part that everybody on the hosted podcasts will see how you did with this, but there is no right or wrong way to do, I guess, your 5-song playlist. Okay. So 5 songs. Okay. In any order that you want them to be. Okay. Right. So if it's a countdown, 5 to 1, that's fine. However you want it to be, what would be your top 5 playlist?
Top 5, no particular order.
Okay.
Drake, God's Plan.
I freaking knew he was going to start with Drake.
You always got to have a Drake.
Knew it.
Come on, Drake. Second one.
You got other fans in the room of Drake.
Yeah.
Love it. Second one would be Middle Child by J. Cole. Guarantee that'll get you going. Third one, put a big star by this. Baby by Justin Bieber. And I'm going to explain why. I know. I
love that song.
This took me out my comfort zone, but I did this song. It was a father-daughter dance recital. Mm-hmm. So me and my daughter, that's what we did the recital with. So anytime that song comes up, we just look at each other like,
please tell me where the footage is.
Yeah.
Safely tucked away on my phone. So I'm up there, twirling her and going back. It's best moment. So that song, whenever I hear it, you just start smiling.
All right, I can get down with
yes.
that song.
You don't even need, don't let him feel like you have to explain. Okay, that is a good song.
He had to explain the Browns to me, but you ain't got to explain that to me.
So that was the father-daughter dance recital. That was, yeah.
Those
are
special moments.
Yeah.
What is that? That's 3?
3? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
3. Next one, you got to have this, different vibes. Superstar by Usher. Yeah. Ooh. Yes. Nothing will be sung. I'm not singing it. Yeah. But yes, that's a gold.
We won't ask you to sing Usher, but if you can just go back one song and sing old Justin Bieber to us, we'll accept that too.
Oh, God.
See, you can have your daughter. See, you can play us on Spotify, Apple
Don't let
Music,
him talk
YouTube.
you. Don't let him talk you into this.
Yeah, and then your daughter can be like, "Daddy, you sang on national."
No.
National YouTube.
You don't have to do anything. You don't
keep that in the safe.
That's there with the video footage of the dance recital.
And the last one, I mean, you hear this half of the year. It's a song, Sandstorm by Daru.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bron's about to break it down right now.
You
know Sandstorm, don't you?
No.
It's like the techno song?
Oh, yeah. Like it's like you could use it like an intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the greatest entrance in college football. Yes.
I'm sure you heard that one a lot.
Oh, yeah. You hear it half the year. Mm-hmm. That has to be on the top 5.
I feel like every time you go to, especially here in town, it's like, what is it? AC/DC, Welcome to the Jungle. Like you hear all the same songs all the time, but I can get down with that.
All right. What does this playlist say about Ron Patrick?
You can have fun. You can relax. If you need to pick me up, to get moving, you can just play any one of those songs.
Yeah.
Especially Sandstorm. Play that when you wake up in the morning.
Ron, I didn't like that look on your face. He's like, especially Sandstorm.
Especially Sandstorm.
He's like driving to the job. Listening to it.
This is what he's listening to when he got in trouble by Bud Rutz for picking up units in the parking lot by hand and putting them in the trash. Yeah. If y'all don't know, if you weren't at the breakfast, Ron got in trouble for picking up air conditioners in the parking lot by hand to put them in the trash. They were like, use the forklift. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Never thought about
he was
that.
doing it by choice.
It was just a little baby one.
Yeah.
Ton and a half.
Ton and a half. It was a 5-ton.
No problem. Okay, so the last thing that we usually do on a guest host episode is we had Brett, who was our last guest host, leave you a question, and then we will ask you to leave our next guest host a question, which we don't know that's going to be yet. So it'll be a surprise for all of us. Okay, here's Brett's question for you. What's a moment in your life that you knew you could have done better?
I would have to say that's geared towards football. Avoiding injuries, because that's one of the things that stayed in my mind the 2 times I got hurt, but it was completely out of my control. I got rolled up twice, once in the college and my last preseason game that took me out 10 weeks, but I had to kind of just think back to those 2 moments if I could have did something better, maybe moving my feet. But yeah, that's football. And then I like to think on the other side, if I was better with that, would I be here?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, everything happens for a reason, and I'm completely satisfied with where I am. I'm happy where I am right now.
Yeah.
So
the person that you are, I don't know, completely satisfied. You just seem like the type of person to me who is going to continue to reach. You're going to continue to stay green, continue to learn, continue to think what's next for me. So being content in the place that you are now, I don't see Ron ever being like, well, we're all done here. You know, like there's always, I feel like, going to be something that you're working towards. It's going from where we started today and hearing where you started till now. I mean, that's like, that could be a chapter in the story of Ron, you know, is how to keep moving.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
That's awesome.
to catch my breath. I haven't been able to do that in a long time.
Yeah.
You know, always having to worry about what's next or what I'm going to be doing, or because you always had that goal where you're trying to be. And now it's just time to set different goals.
Yeah.
But I can do them at my pace.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And and like I said before, you put yourself there, which I think you should be very proud of.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
What is your question for our next guest host?
Speaking of being happy, has your definition of happiness changed as you've gotten older?
Ooh, I like that one.
That's a really good question.
That is a really good question.
That's for them to answer.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
That is a good question. That actually makes me think of, I think that's, we could do a whole podcast probably on just the idea of happiness, you know, and what does that mean? So we'll see.
Appreciate
How often it changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
give me my percentage.
That's right. Of the book. We
Staying Green, the book
Story
of
of
Ron.
Ron. Okay, we got a whole list here of things. Well, we really, really, really appreciate you coming on, being with us today, taking some time out of your schedule, obviously, to just come let people learn more about you, hear more about your story. I bet we're going to have a bunch of installers listening to this episode.
Still get them to sing a song. You would have never heard the end of that.
Oh, yeah, karaoke. Yeah.
Well, we really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
I appreciate you.
All right, guys, that's it. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. We will see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for listening. Until the next time, peace, love, and easy does it.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.